Welcome to the Real Double Dose Channel broadcast station, focused on the real reels of real life, love, growth, and of course, elevation within all levels. RDDC is exactly the place where anyone can discover more depth, love, light, and clarity within themselves, and elevate from other people's walks of life, conversations, and questions, along with deeper insights. So tune in and be a part of the Double Doses with Lexus T and RDDC.
Welcome, everybody, to the Real Double Dose channel. And this is your girl, Lexus T, coming at you straight from the heart, where the talk is real and the vibe is always live. Now, this conversation has been long due, but I want to share this with you in different audiences, wherever you're listening to, or if you're on one of our broadcasts. Kids, thank you and love. Peace to you always. If you're on our YouTube, that's unfolding. If you're on the TikTok, if you're on whatever platform, wherever device, wherever you are, God bless you. Love be with you. And this is a guided understanding of where you are, a different kind of reset. So I wrote this and I'm going to give you a flowing touch of where you should be. I know it's a little later than I wanted it to be, but we had some important things to do. Well, other important things to do because you're important too. And yeah, so right now I'm just gliding and enjoying it. And, I believe my COO was telling me, hey, I really enjoy being down at the office. And I was like, why don't we? Why don't we? So I'm like, I'm going to try to make that. If you hear that out there, COO, I'm going to try to at least minimal, for the other office side of things, twice a week. Even going down there 3 times, twice a week at least, maybe like 8 to 10 hours. It won't be too bad, in between. Though, this conversation is dually loaded. And this is for the people who are on, the broadcast, 15 syndicates. This is for people who are out here needing it. This is for people who just need to feel the fire of everything going on. So I want to invite you to a journey. And maybe the reason why I don't pop up on here a lot, not for the fact of bad hair day or a frizzy hair day or feeling like you just don't have it. A lot of my momentum of being the oracle that God made me to be and who he made me to be, it takes a lot out of me. Even passing by a person is just the energy of feeling the thoughts or the feelings or the emotions. It's a lot. And unless you are that person, it's hard to understand. Although I'm here, I still show up regardless. And it's for those who are going to be a part of the way. Now, I'm pretty sure TikTok may not be too happy with me. Because I was on a roll for like 16 different lives and I kind of did it, but it was anxiety as well that provoked that and different things that post-surgery anxiety, I want to say. It was different things happening where I had to reset and say, showing up, it's not about vanity metrics. It's not about all that. I'm happy who comes along. I'm happy who's joining. But if it doesn't happen, I'm the right voice and the right people will hear my voice. As the Bible says, my sheep will hear my voice, right? It doesn't mean you're a sheep for the slaughter. It just means it's the right people, the right dentistry, the right restaurant. You'll feel that energy. You'll feel that moment. So let me go. And speaking to this might be edited in another version, but I want it to be raw, everyone, from wherever you are listening in. And let me get this guide style. So you'll be seeing here, I just wanted to do it with you and make sure you can feel that as well for when the other audience. I'm sorry, everybody who's going to be listening to this post the live on TikTok, but I want to say this is for you, wherever you are, whatever time it happens, it's for you. But let me go on. All right, so this is a different kind of reset. But I wrote these notes down. It took me a little while to get them and organized for you, but I hope it resonates with what God is allowing me to share with you all, right? There comes a point in life where you realize you're tired of searching, okay? Not just for love, but for approval, for safety, for reassurance, from something outside of you to finally make things feel settled. Hear me, beloveds, okay? And most people don't realize that the exhaustion they feel isn't from effort. It's from looking outward for something that was always meant to be cultivated inward. All right. We're taught early, subtly, that love is something we find. The success is something we chase. That belonging is something we earn. But nobody really sits us down and says, Before you look for the one, you have to become the one. Preach, I always say it. And that's where everything starts to shift. Amen. Because becoming the one isn't about perfection. It's not about self-help slogans or pretending you're healed. It's about honesty. It's about recognizing how much of your adult life has been shaped by what you had to do to survive as a child. Let that be a keynote in there. A lot of us learn love through effort, through being useful, through being quiet, through being strong, through being needed. Remember our breaths. Let's breathe. Okay. So later in life, we unconsciously repeat that pattern in relationships and friendships and work and how we approach success. We overgive, we overextend, we second guess our worth. Okay. We hesitate when opportunities appear, not because we're incapable, but because visibility once felt unsafe. It did. And nobody tells you that trauma doesn't just affect who you love, it affects how much you allow yourself to receive as well. So you hold yourself back just enough to stay familiar, right? You don't fully step into alignment, you step into what feels manageable. That is the facts. And that's where the confusion between familiar and aligned begins. Because familiar feels comfortable even when it hurts. Remember that. It feels predictable, it feels known. Aligned, on the other hand, can feel quiet, unimpressive at first, almost too simple. And that's the key thing right there. The simplicity of how we've been taught that life should be so difficult is what gets us in the problematic feelings that we feel every day. So just want to say, too simple, it's not always the case, right? Sometimes it's the solution. And for a nervous system that grew up in chaos, peace can feel boring, stillness can feel suspicious, ease can feel undeserved. I was going to say suspicious, eh? That movie in there, but it's a laughing matter of smiles once you break free from that. But it's something that I want all of us to take something from this. It's not a new year, it's a new day. It's not January, we'll have this. This Thanksgiving, guys, you get it. It's the moment where you feel like you don't have to be suspicious, right? It's that moment where you show up. Like, no matter how I feel, no matter how dizzy I may feel or whatever, it's not like health negligence, it's things that the adversary or life's trying to throw at me. And my body's still calibrating from so many surgeries and drama and trauma in life that I've dealt with, but it's about showing up every time. So ease can feel undeserved. Absolutely. So we chase intensity and call it passion. We chase urgency and call it purpose. We chase people, opportunities, and environments that mirror what we already know, even when they keep us small. Chiquitito, okay? But alignment doesn't rush you. It doesn't pressure you. It doesn't require you to abandon yourself to stay connected. Alignment feels steady. Remember our breaths. Keep on breathing, beloveds. And that applies to love, friendships, and success equally. True friendship, for example, withstands time, distance, and silence, but it never survives imbalance. That's hard for people who learn early on that connection meant effort, that being loved meant being available, and that being valued meant being the one who always shows up. And that sucks. It does. Always being the one to show up. Like, you can't even get a moment to check out. It's like, oh, where you been? And it's like, if you do something wrong or quote wrong in someone else's eyes, it's like, whoa, I can't even have a skip day. It's like that employee that can miss and call in sick and come in drunk, but they're cool, right? But the moment you come in 5, 10 minutes late from a snowstorm, covering someone else's shift, it's like, what are you doing here late? Oh, no shade. I feel the shade. I don't feel the shade because the shade is, but that's the truth. That is the truth. And you get it. So when you stop reaching and everything collapses, it hurts. And for those who are on the audio, that are going to be hearing this, don't mind. You can't see it, but it's happening. It's on live on TikTok. You can also check that out at the Oracle Lexus T. And I'm sorry you can't see that, but you still can feel it. So when you stop reaching and everything collapses, it hurts, but it also reveals the truth. And because real connection doesn't require chasing to stay alive, and the same is true for love. If you're constantly trying to prove your worth in a relationship, you're not experiencing love. You're replaying survival. If you're constantly trying to prove your worth in a relationship, beloveds, you're not experiencing love. You're replaying survival. It's deep. Share that moment. Breathe in this moment. Feel that moment. It's okay. That doesn't make you broken. It makes you patterned. Healing isn't about blaming the past, it's about understanding it so it stops running your present. And somewhere in the process, God has to be reframed too. Because for many people, their understanding of God was shaped by authority figures who were inconsistent, conditional, or emotionally unavailable. So God became pressure or expectation or disappointment. All right, let's be real about it here. All right, thank you for the flash goal. Boom, love it, appreciate it, can get it. I'm very appreciative for that. Thank you so much for sending your love, everyone, and those out there whose hearts are beating from hearing this. So, but God was never meant to be pressure. God is safety, and when God becomes safety, okay, instead of scrutiny, something deep inside begins to relax. You stop asking God to fix your life and start allowing Him to anchor it. Yes, kid of Christ, thank you so much for your beautiful 2026s. And I remember that, okay? Let's do that. You stop asking God to fix your life, beloveds, and start allowing Him to anchor it. All right? And from that place, discernment sharpens. It does. It doesn't weaken. You begin to feel the difference between desire and alignment, between urgency and peace. Breathe. You between what excites your wounds and what nourishes your soul. Okay? You realize that not every longing is intuition. Some are just echoes trying to fade away. Let it go. And you learn to pause, not because you're afraid, but because you trust yourself enough to listen. This is where success changes too. It does. Because success pursued from survival will always feel heavy, but success aligned with wholeness feels expansive. You stop holding yourself back out of fear of being seen. You stop shrinking to stay connected. Okay, no more shrinking. You stop negotiating your calling to stay comfortable. Yes, I'm telling you, I felt that for years. Okay. Stop negotiating your calling to stay comfortable, even though you think, oh, I'm not, I'm doing. You're really not at the full throttle, not what you deserve. Okay. So, with all that being said, and you don't force it, okay? You become it. You become it. That's the recipe. You become it. And no matter if anybody likes your secret sauce or what you have in that pot, it's just not for them. You know, if you're doing it all by the guidelines of God, not ego, not pride, not get back, if they don't resonate with that, then they're not the people in your pasture God wanted you to watch over and steward. Simple as that. Lions don't lose sleep over the opinion of sheep. They're just not your sheep. That's what it is. So I'm just saying, not chasing love, becoming love, not proving worth, embodying it, not repeating familiarity, choosing alignment, okay? Not hustling for validation, allowing success to meet you where you are whole, beloveds. Boom. And when you pause long enough to feel that truth land, like for real, you realize something quietly and powerful. Nothing outside of you was ever missing. You were just becoming. Let that sink in for a moment. That's what it is. The tighten up part that I want you to feel. It's becoming the one without chasing the year, okay? A different kind of reset. That's what this is called. Because when you stop looking outside of yourself, that's what you get. And really, becoming the one becomes so much more deeper than people realize. One of the videos on my channel, on the TikTok channel, so far, we're getting caught up. We probably have like maybe 100 something videos, everybody. We just haven't put them up. And maybe that's my shade, no shade. Maybe that's my shade, no shade. I just felt a little shade. It's still that feeling when you're like, man, maybe I should put this on. Maybe I should do this. And I'm like, well, look, at the end of the day, you have to look at it like that. If you ain't paying my bills, it doesn't matter if you did. If you're not over here encouraging me, it doesn't matter if you do. You don't define me. You can't refine me. It doesn't matter how someone feels about your outward appearance. We're just here in these suits. That's how we know each other. But can you say, and can we say that we know someone by the Spirit? Can you say that? I really think that person's a good person, but yet you see them in the news next week doing some heinous stuff that they shouldn't have done. Did they even know themselves? Because the journey to love is not finding the one. The journey to love is becoming the one. So if you truly get to know God from within, the breath of life, then those steps will take you there. Not sitting in a church pew, you can have mentors, right? Hopefully they got it right, but it's about more than that. It's more than just, man, I just sat there and had a good church service. Okay, that's nice. But what do you have to leave with? That's your weekend cup or your possible shimmy when you see them in the grocery store and they act, oh, we're outside the gates. What's going on? Where is your journey to love? Where is your journey to you? And it's not about self-servitude. It's about serving what you have to in order to do what you have to do for the multitudes that await you. That's what it comes down to. I am a walking psychopathic miracle from everything that's happened, from jumping out of cars at 40 miles an hour, from basically almost jumping off a cliff, almost cracking my skull, recovering from 8 surgeries this year, just the top, okay, bruh, just the top. And I'm pretty sure there's so many of you going through so many and so much right now. People can't even believe your story. And most people don't want to hear anyone's story because they haven't even refined or even knew their own story. Like they don't even know where it begins. Some of them are trying to make someone else's life their story. Someone else is trying to go on and become a fan, celeb, whatever it might be. Everyone's trying to find their identity. They're trying to find something to call their identity. And the only identity you'll ever have is the one that you believe that you have. It's not even to that. God gives you so much free will that you can become anyone you want. You can become anything, whether people are against it or it goes against the principles. That's how much free will is. And I would say, as my chulo says, God loves you so much that you can deny God and God still gives you breath every day and still blesses you. That's beautiful. But what I want you to get from this is understanding that love is not something to chase, but something to embody. All right. Trauma doesn't just affect relationships, it affects how much success, love, and peace will allow ourselves to receive. Familiar patterns are not the same as aligned paths. That's what we have to understand. And true friendships, love, and opportunity do not require self-embodiment. From my notes of my journal that I give to you digitally, probably should have wrote it down, but the camera angles, I'm still brand new. Okay, I'm still brand new. To get in some of this thing, I'm an AI geek and different stuff like that, but being on camera is new. But if it's worth speaking to you all, it's worth it to me. And God was never meant to be, and let's breathe. Sorry. God was never meant to be pressure or performance. He is safety and foundation. Safety and foundation is what God is, not pressure and performance. Walk into your new life, your new moment, your new minute, your new everything with that. Don't just say a new year. You deserve that beyond what you think. Okay. Discernment grows when we stop rushing and start listening. Becoming the one is the reset. Not a year, not a new person, not a new mask. That's what I have to say. Let me just do this on the camera. If I could actually, don't even let me do it wrong, everybody. I, I can't do it from this thing. It's really irritating me a little bit here. Let me move this out the way. Oh, here's my clicking. Here's my clicking. See, I had this right on the other one. I can't even do that. I know. Don't get me on this one. Probably like, what is she doing? Oh, there we go. Okay. Had to get that out there. Okay, so you saw the back. That's some mirrors going on. So this is a little stand here. I don't know if you want to see this or not, but this is a stand here we have going on, right? Window, computer, have my drinks. I just like to keep my stuff cold. Okay. And I don't know, it's a hospital thing, honestly, because I was asking myself, why do I always have to have 20, 30 cups of ice? And I'm thinking like, oh, not all the time, really 2 to 3 a day or whatever, just ice. And I remember in the hospital, which I'm still post-op, I used to have ice packs on my wound area, shark bite area. Looks like a huge shark bite, or did. And yeah, I used to, yeah, eat ice all the time in the hospital. Plus, I was on like 12-hour fast every day for almost 3 weeks. So, okay, my best friend now is a part of me, just like Sprite Zero. I know, no shade. So, I want each and every one of us to understand what those things are. And for you who have missed it or coming on, this is about getting yourself to where you need to be. And the first sentence I said was, there comes a point in life where you realize you're tired of searching, not just for love, but for approval, beloveds, for safety, for reassurance, for something outside of you to finally make things feel settled. A different reset. So, what kind of reset do you have, those who are passing by? Is it not crunk enough up in here? Is it not overthetop.com or something you need to get away from because you can't stand being with yourself or the situations that you encounter? I want to challenge you to make every single day count, every moment, and even when it seems like that. Because sometimes, my love will be like, oh, well, you just had a moment, we're not complaining. And I'm thinking sometimes it's not complaining. Sometimes it's expressing. And someone happens to be around you, they hear that. Sometimes you've been so suppressed through life and kept so held down that you have no choice but to say something, or you feel like you're going to explode. Maybe not in a detrimental way, but you feel like it. Sometimes you just want someone to give you a bear hug and bear with you. A lot of times we need someone to not hug us when we cry, but be there before we even shed the tear. And it seems like a lot to ask of someone, but we are the ones to give that. If you resonate, we're the ones to first give that to someone else. Seemingly, we feel guilty and say, well, we shouldn't expect, but reciprocity exists. You can't just go and eat from someone's plate every day and not expect them to go low on groceries or tired of cooking. You have to expect something. It's the expectation of life. When you wake up, you expect to have, if you wake up, a lot of us didn't today. More of us did, I believe. But when you wake up, you expect to have a day filled with something. Just like when you see a child get up and they're smiling, and you're wondering, oh, well, you got something to smile about. You have nothing on your mind. Exactly the point. That baby, that child, unless they're growing up in a bad environment, they still have the hope. They still will smile at their abuser. Someone else will still, they'll still give another chance. That kid in foster care will give another chance to another parent, and eventually they give up because they've gotten the sickness of life. And I would say adulthood, but I would call it heaviness of the spirit. We're so busy trying to find love outside of ourselves. We don't even understand what love could ever truly be. We don't even believe God could love us. How could he? We can't even love ourselves or find a quote partner to love ourselves. So how could God love us and he's not here in my face every day? How could God be my best friend when he's not making my ego stroked or giving me $1 million to survive this life? But yet we hear many of our friends who are amputees or paraplegic or going through a lot of different things in life, sicknesses, diagnoses, and say, God loves me so much. I have this that I'm carrying, but I know ultimately that God loves me enough, and loved me enough to give me an experience in this life. Nobody ever said life was going to be forever. Okay, no matter how you go out, you still got a chance. Some just get one breath, some get 125 years. No one said life was fair. Simple as that. I felt that way with my hands open in the hospital, and I was like, though you slay me, Lord, I shall put my trust in thee. And I felt the angels minister unto me. I never thought I could. But even as the oracle, there's certain layers I have to get to. We all have to redefine that. And your sheep will hear your voice. Those out there, personal circles, work, whatever, they will hear your voice. We're not looking for people to follow. We're looking for the message to allow those leaders to come out there and become followers of the one and true God, the God that's also sitting within us. I think it's beautiful that we don't have to be on this earth for too much, and God says go, is go. But there's a better place. If we can find the beauty in this life, even through all the ugly and chaos still, you really think that earth is the last point of an infinite creator? So don't count it, well, count it all joy, but don't count it out. 2027, 2030, 2031. It doesn't matter. Whatever you do, count it all in because it's worth the time. It's worth the patience. It's worth the peace. If you can make someone else's day a little bit brighter, a little bit better, don't look at it as I didn't get that. Well, if you didn't give it to someone else and your return. Don't do it because you want rewards. Do it because it is the reward. Love future forward, a different reset. Recalibrate the same stagnicity you've had, the same friend circle. Don't even have, and I remember, I think it was one of the prophets I was speaking to some time ago, before I got sick. He said, you know what? Don't even have a circle. Get a straight line. And I was like, I like that. Have a straight line. And if you ever get it. I asked the Lord when I was in the hospital bed, just early this January. It was almost February till I got home. Give me a moment. If I didn't do thy will, forgive me. If I was too afraid to do what you told me to do and looked at myself as, oh, my nose or my face or my makeup, or I look tired, or the oracle can only be accessed through God when God says. And that's true, the full Monty of it, but I still have the Lex effect always. I need to give as much as I can. My child sees it, whether it be biological or not in the future. I need whoever is going to hear this message to hear it very well and realize that there's more, 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 and more power. The more you think a thing, the more you become it, the more you rectify that. And if God has anything stored up, it's limitless. I do believe if you tell the mountain to move, it'll move. And if you have that, you could tell that fig tree, hey, you're not going to bear fruit anymore. Let's try to do things the way God intended instead of the way witchery did. I see so many people believing in witchcraft and different stuff like that. Brujeria, roots, and don't get me wrong, they have their, well, places. But that's right, King of Christ, preach. I'm just saying. But we give so much power to the other side. We feel, and maybe that's where their fuel comes from. We believe they're so powerful beyond recognition, even though they acknowledge the existence of God being over them and God Himself. We give more power to them than anything. Oh, our rewards will come later. No, our rewards will come now. Breaking the matrix, breaking the mental. It comes down to that. And if we start believing in ourselves as much as we believe in the opposite sides and the bad sides and the bad things, we'll have nothing but greatness, and we will become more than conquerors. Believe in it as much as you believe in your favorite perfume or your clothing or putting gas in your car. Put that wholeness and faith into it. Put the same energy you do to looking at a news report on something negative and putting into something good. So I don't know where you are with it, but I was going to actually release something that has to do with releasing the system and putting things into what is already beyond manifestation. And yeah, I mean, that'll be on the YouTube, hopefully. Maybe I'll roll it out here. So my time is getting short, and I have to remember that love will set you free. Because once you become the love instead of trying to find it, that's all you need. I'm not saying you don't need a partner or a spouse. Adam and Eve were made for a reason, but stop trying to find something that's already in you. Discover that, and that right one situation, whether it be even having a child, could be the one for you. Doesn't have to just be with a lover. Taking a walk and enjoying the finer things in life of why the leaf blows in the wind is definitely a love of a lifetime. It's so much more than that, but so much more. So this is your girl Lex. Just want to say I want to spend some time with you. Let you know I didn't disappear. It doesn't matter. I'm good. I'm crispy. I had my shower. Felt good. And this is more after 9 p.m. So I'm gonna possibly get a little midnight. Well, I call it more midnight for me. A little snackaroo, possibly on the way home. And yeah, cut up here and get going and get this ready for the next chapter. So, all of you who have passed by and been here, thank you. I've surpassed some post anxieties as we've been on here, and I'm very proud of myself. And yeah, that's where it goes. But it's worth giving the message and so forth to what and all that you are. And I want to just get this out of here right now. Okay. So let me just say hello, hello. Hi, people. So I hope you keep this with you. It's a different kind of reset, a reset that's in your life. It's not about the propaganda of the new year coming. It happens to be here. I get it. But all things will work out. No matter what may seem against you, you have the power inside. And I can't wait to see what you manifest and do. I cannot wait. So when the YouTube drops, I'll be hopefully putting that out there. Well, we have more of that, but when our stuff starts coming out more, I'm going to have so much stuff for you to start your broadcast, for you to start your books, for you to start so many wonderful things. And I can't wait to invest the love in you that you've neglected from yourself for so long. See, I'm one of these people out here who actually stand about my business and do what I got to do. And just because I've been a well-kept secret for, I'm about to say 2 decades with prison ministry and everything else. Oh, can't wait, Kenny Christ, you get first one on the list. Boom. Thank you. But just because I've really kept myself back and life has happened, the journey to unfolding and learning God gave me to also distribute. I love teaching people, love giving and elevating people in any way possible. And if it's just here, I'm here. But there's a spark, there's a way. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to see. It's not all someone's going to send you a link. Well, maybe a lot of these people out here, they'll send you a link and say, oh, you want to know? Da, da, da. But you also have to look at the fact that you have to be willing to invest time, energy, patience, and focus. It's not just all financial, that comes along with it. But if a person can help you downsize something within 6 months to a year from a 30-year understanding and more, man, time is of the essence. We don't get that. That's one thing you can't pay back. It doesn't matter how much of a loan you have, you cannot pay back someone their time. And not even time you're paying for, the experience is what you get of a lifetime. So I hope I see you in many other areas. Those of you who are hearing from the broadcast when this is edited a little bit, I hope you get it raw and real. Maybe you'll become the Vibe is Live from all the stations and our 500 plus episodes and beyond. But this is not a broadcast for that. This is a public service announcement for the phenomenal people that you are, the journey you're on, the things you need to hashtag different reset. So no matter how you feel or how you look, show up because someone needs your voice, someone needs your elevation. Someone out there is waiting for you to pick up your platform, even if it's 5 people, 2 people, 10 people, 20 people, they're waiting for you to show up. Believe it or not, someone is. Whether a child needs a home, whether an animal's waiting for you to bring a can of tuna outside or a piece of bread, whether an elderly person's waiting, it doesn't matter. Someone's waiting for you to show up the way God intended for you to do it. And it's not about serving yourself, it's about serving the one. We're all a part of the Godhood breath of life. So when we're helping each other and elevating each other, connecting with each other, well, basically, it's almost a selfish feeling because we're giving to ourselves. We're all different parts of the self. No matter how you want to say it, we are one and true and only creator that created all things. How can we not be connected? It doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, it makes sense to me, but you know what I mean. So, love, peace, and blessings. I hope this resonated with somebody. Thank you for stopping by. And I guess we'll see you on the flip side.